Tonight, June 18th, 2026, and the FIFA World Cup is in full swing. 48 teams, millions of fans, billions of viewers, the greatest show on earth. But tonight, we are not here to talk about goals. We are not here to celebrate trophies. Tonight, we are here to ask the questions nobody else is asking, because behind the noise, behind the fireworks, and behind the beautiful game, something is wrong, and the world deserves to know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kickoff Kings 26. And tonight, we uncover the truth behind World Cup 2026. Let us begin at the very start, before the opening ceremony, before the first goal was scored, before Messi walked onto the pitch, because the problem started long before any of that. The United States of America, a nation that calls itself the land of the free, one of the three host nations of this World Cup, decided to close its doors to 39 countries, 39 nations, whose citizens were told, "You cannot come." Among those 39 countries were Haiti, Iran, Ivory Coast, and Senegal. Nations competing in this very tournament. Nations whose players trained every single day for 4 years, sacrificed their bodies, sacrificed their time, sacrificed everything for this one moment, and their own people were blocked from watching them. Think about what that means. A mother in Dakar, watching her son represent Senegal on television, unable to hold him, unable to cheer for him in the stadium, because a travel ban said no. A father in Port-au-Prince, watching Haiti play on a small screen, dreaming of being there, but knowing the doors were closed. This is the World Cup FIFA called the greatest ever. And yet, millions of the very fans it was supposed to celebrate were left outside, looking in, and FIFA said nothing. Not a statement, not a protest, not a single word of objection. Because FIFA needed America, for the television deals, for the sponsorships, for the billions of dollars. And so the fans paid the price, quietly, without apology, without explanation. But the barriers did not stop there, because even for the fans who tried to find another way, there was another wall waiting. Algeria, Cape Verde, Senegal, Tunisia. Fans from these nations were told something extraordinary. Before you can even apply for a visa, you must pay a deposit, a financial guarantee, of up to $15,000. $15,000. Not for a ticket, not for a hotel, not for a flight. Just for the chance to apply, just to be considered. The average worker in Senegal earns around $2,000 per year. The average worker in Algeria earns around $5,000 per year. So FIFA sold the 2026 World Cup as football for everyone, as a celebration for the entire planet. But the entire planet could not afford $15,000, and so the beautiful dream became a painful reality. A World Cup for the wealthy, a tournament for those who could pay, and for the rest, a television screen, a small screen, and a broken dream. FIFA watched this happen and stayed silent. Now let us talk about June 9th, a date that football fans will not forget quickly, because what happened on that day was not inside a stadium. It was not on a football pitch. It happened at an airport, and it shocked the world. Senegal, one of Africa's proudest football nations, a team that has produced some of the most talented players of their generation, players who compete at the highest level in Europe, players who are respected across the football world. They arrived in the United States, proud, ready, determined to compete, and the moment they stepped off the plane, they were stopped. Security officers were waiting, and what followed left the football world speechless. Every single player was searched individually, on the airport tarmac, not inside a building, not in a private area, in the open, on the tarmac, one by one, in full view, like suspects, like people who had committed a crime. Players who carry the pride of millions, players who had done nothing wrong, treated as if they were a threat. And Senegal were not alone, because the Uzbekistan delegation faced something similar. Police narcotics dogs were brought in. Their bags were searched. Their luggage was inspected. Before they were allowed to enter the stadium, videos appeared online within hours. The reaction was immediate. People were furious. They called it shameful. They called it disgusting. They called it an embarrassment to football, to sport, to humanity. Former players reacted with anger. Journalists from around the world started writing about it. Fans demanded answers, and FIFA released no statement, offered no explanation, gave no apology. The silence said everything. But the controversies did not stay outside the stadiums, because the next scandal happened live, in front of the entire world. Germany versus Curaçao, Houston, Texas, a World Cup match, millions watching. During the game, the television broadcast cut to the VAR room, and there, sitting at his screen, was referee Sean Evans, an Australian official working as a VAR supervisor at the 2026 World Cup. And as the cameras focused on him, he made a gesture. A small gesture, a circle formed with the thumb and index finger. an upside-down symbol, a gesture that anti-discrimination campaigners recognized immediately because that gesture has been associated with white supremacist groups around the world, and it was being made by a World Cup referee on live television. Organization Fair Network responded within hours. They released a statement. They demanded an immediate investigation. They demanded FIFA take action. They demanded accountability, and FIFA issued no public response, no statement, no investigation announced, no explanation offered. In the matches that followed, television directors reportedly stopped showing the VAR room to viewers entirely, not because the problem was fixed, but because the cameras had become the problem, and hiding from cameras is easier than facing the truth. Now let us talk about something FIFA tried very hard to explain away, because some stories are impossible to hide, especially when millions of people can see them with their own eyes. Empty seats. It started with South Korea versus Czech Republic, Guadalajara, Mexico, a World Cup match, and photographs emerged showing thousands of empty seats, row after row of empty chairs, a World Cup match, with nobody sitting there. The images spread across social media within minutes. Fans could not believe what they were seeing. FIFA released a statement quickly. They said it was a near sellout. They said fans were standing in concourses. They said official numbers reflect tickets scanned, but the cameras showed something different. And it was not just one match. Switzerland versus Qatar, empty seats. Japan versus Netherlands, empty seats. Reports emerged that volunteers were brought in to fill the gaps, to make the stadiums look fuller than they were, to protect the image of the tournament. FIFA claims to have sold over 6 million tickets for this World Cup. 6 million tickets, and yet stadiums are not full. Where are the fans? The real fans, the ones who wanted to come, the ones who were banned, the ones who could not afford $15,000, the ones who were told they were not welcome. There they are, watching from home, on small screens, with broken dreams, and now, we come to the story that broke the hearts of millions, the story that reminded the world what football truly means. Cape Verde, a small island nation in the Atlantic Ocean, a country of fewer than 600,000 people, playing in their very first ever Men's World Cup. For this nation, just qualifying was already a miracle, already history, already a dream come true. But nobody could have predicted what happened next. Because standing between Cape Verde and the world was Spain. European champions, world-class players in every single position, a nation that has dominated football for decades, a team that was expected to win comfortably, a team that was expected to make history of their own, and yet Cape Verde refused to read the script. From the very first minute, they fought, they ran, they defended with everything they had, every tackle, every clearance, every block, every breath, given completely. Minute after minute passed, Spain pushed, Spain pressed, Spain created chances. But Cape Verde held on, and at the heart of it all stood one extraordinary man, their goalkeeper, Vozinha Josimar Evora Dias, 40 years old, standing between his nation and defeat, a man who had spent his entire career waiting for a moment like this, decades of training, decades of sacrifice, decades of belief, and on that unforgettable evening, he was absolutely magnificent. Save after save, diving to his left, stretching to his right, pushing shots over the bar, denying Spain again, and again, and again. The football world watched in disbelief. Commentators could not find the words. Fans from every corner of the planet were on their feet. Social media was overwhelmed because what Vozinha was doing was not just goalkeeping. It was something more. It was a 40-year-old man refusing to let his nation's dream die. And when the final whistle blew, the scoreline told the story. Spain, 0. Cape Verde, 0 for Spain. A shocking result. A reminder that football humbles everyone. But for Cape Verde, it was so much more than a draw. It was proof. Proof that small nations can stand tall. Proof that dreams do not care about rankings. Proof that heart can match talent. History had been written. An entire nation erupted in celebration. Millions of people cried tears of joy. And yet, as his teammates celebrated around him, Vozinha was not smiling. He was crying. Real tears. Painful tears. The tears of a man carrying something heavier than the scoreline because his mother was not there. She had wanted to come. She had dreamed of watching her son play on the biggest stage in football in his greatest moment. But she could not get a visa. The travel ban had taken that away from her and from him, a 40-year-old man who had given everything to football, standing on the pitch after the performance of his life, weeping because the one person he wanted to share it with was thousands of miles away. Watching on a television screen, his teammates gathered around him. They held him. They understood because football is not just a game. It is life. It is family. It is love. And no trophy, no result, no performance can replace a mother watching her son, that image. said more than any press conference, more than any FIFA statement, more than any official report. That image was the truth of World Cup 2026, and so here we are. June 18th, 2026. The tournament continues. The goals keep coming. The celebrations go on. But the questions remain. A travel ban that blocked fans from 39 nations. Players searched on airport tarmacs like suspects. A referee making controversial gestures on live television. Empty stadiums at the biggest sporting event on earth. And a goalkeeper weeping on the pitch because his mother could not be there. These are the stories of World Cup 2026. The stories behind the beautiful game. The stories FIFA would rather you forget. But we will not forget because football belongs to everyone, not to organizations, not to governments, not to the powerful. Football belongs to the mother in Dakar, to the father in Port-au-Prince, to the goalkeeper who gave everything, and to every fan who was left outside, looking in. The truth always finds a way to come out. And tonight, it came out here. Tell us what you think in the comments below. Do you believe FIFA must be held accountable? Or do you think the criticism is unfair? We want to hear from you. And if this video moved you, if this video made you think, hit that like button. Subscribe to Kickoff Kings 26. Turn on notifications. Because here, we bring you every story, every controversy, every truth that others are afraid to tell. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.